scratched, heavily toned piece of American history in your hand might look like pocket change, but it holds a secret that could rewrite its value. This is the 1936 United States Buffalo nickel from Philadelphia, a coin that collectors have chased for decades, not for its beauty, but for the extraordinary anomalies hiding beneath its damaged surface. While most dismiss such worn relics, the sharp-eyed few recognize that sometimes the ugliest coins carry the most shocking surprises. Today, we are pulling a true piece of American history from the vault to examine the 1923 Buffalo nickel. While it might look like a simple 5-cent piece from your grandfather's coin jar, this particular year holds a fascinating story of artistic ambition, economic shifts, and surprising value that can turn a modest find into a significant investment. We are going to explore exactly what makes this coin so collectible, from its intricate design to its place in the broader landscape of early 20th century coinage. And by the end of this video, you will understand why this nickel is a staple for serious collectors and a hidden gem for those just starting their journey. To truly appreciate the 1923 Buffalo nickel, we must first understand the historical context of its creation. The series was introduced in 1913 to replace the Liberty Head design, and it was the brainchild of renowned sculptor James Earl Fraser, who sought to capture the spirit of the American West. The year 1923 itself is particularly interesting because it follows a complete halt in nickel production in 1922, a hiatus attributed to an economic downturn following the Spanish flu pandemic. This interruption meant that when the United States Mint in Philadelphia resumed production, the demand was high, and they struck over 35 million of these coins. While that number seems large, the survival rate in high grades is surprisingly low, which is the primary driver of its value today. Now let's take a closer look at the artistry that makes this coin so iconic. The obverse features the profile of a Native American chief, a composite of several individuals Fraser had sketched during his time in the West, with the word Liberty arching above and the date placed firmly on the lower left. The reverse depicts a majestic American bison, specifically a famous animal named Black Diamond from the New York Zoo, standing on a raised mound. The inscriptions, United States of America and EPLUBUSUNUM grace the top, while the denomination 5 cents sits prominently on the mound below. This design, while beautiful, also presented challenges. The high relief of the buffalo's horn and the date made them prone to wear, meaning that well-preserved examples are the ones that truly capture Fraser's original vision. When we discuss rarity, we have to look at the condition. The 1923 Buffalo nickel is what we call a common date in lower circulated grades, with a value ranging from about $2 to maybe $15. However, the story changes dramatically when we move into the upper echelons of preservation. In uncirculated mint state condition, the coin is decidedly scarce, and specifically, the Philadelphia mint issues from this year are known for having a sharper strike and better color than their counterparts. The true rarity lies in gem condition. Professional grading services have recorded fewer than 50 coins in MS67 or higher, making these gems incredibly difficult to find. This brings us to the heart of collector demand and market value. While the Philadelphia 1923 nickel is common, the 1923 S, struck at the San Francisco Mint, is a completely different beast. With a mintage of just over 6 million compared to Philadelphia's 35 million, the San Francisco issue is significantly scarcer. This scarcity is heavily reflected in the price. A circulated 1923 S in good condition can start around $8, but an extremely fine example can jump to $300 or more. In uncirculated condition, the 1923 S is a major prize. Prices can escalate from $600 into the thousands, with top-tier MS66 specimens having sold at auction for nearly $70,000. It stands out in the nickel series not just as a key date, but as a testament to how the geography of minting impacts modern collecting trends. For those looking to add a 1923 Buffalo nickel to their collection, the golden rule is to focus on condition and strike quality. Circulated examples are affordable and accessible, making them perfect for filling a spot in a type set. but serious collectors always pay a premium for coins with original mint luster and, crucially, the full horn detail on the buffalo's shoulder. The full horn designation, given by grading services like PCGS and NGC, indicates that this high point detail is completely intact, a rarity due to circulation. When hunting for these coins, whether at coin shows, online auctions, or local shops, pay close attention to the date and the S mint mark on the reverse. If you find a pristine example with strong details, you have found a piece that is not only historically significant, but also holds substantial investment potential. In conclusion, the 1923 Buffalo nickel is a perfect lesson in numismatics, a coin that marries stunning artistic design with the unpredictable nature of historical survival. It proves that value is not just about age, but about the journey a coin takes through time and the wear it endures. Whether you are a new collector looking for your first treasure or a veteran seeking that elusive gem, the 1923 Buffalo nickel offers a rich and rewarding challenge. It stands as a symbol of American resilience and artistry, a small piece of metal that has become a giant in the collecting world. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next episode, where we will be uncovering the secrets of the rare and coveted 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent, a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. The 1924 Buffalo nickel presents a fascinating paradox for collectors, a coin that outwardly appears to be a common relic of the Roaring Twenties, yet conceals a secret that only the most discerning eyes can detect. While millions were struck, and many have survived in worn condition, the jump from a well-circulated piece to a pristine, uncirculated specimen is one of the most dramatic in the entire Buffalo nickel series. This particular year holds a unique position in the hearts of numismatists because it is the last year of the series before a significant design change, and its value is almost entirely dependent on the simple question of preservation. As we examine this coin, you will discover that the line between a few dollars and a few $1,000s is incredibly thin, and understanding the nuances of its condition is the key to unlocking its true potential. The story of the 1924 Buffalo nickel begins at the historic Philadelphia Mint, which struck over 21.6 million of these 5-cent pieces, a substantial number that makes it readily available in lower grades. However, the absence of a mint mark, a hallmark of Philadelphia production until the 1940s, means its origin is often overlooked by the casual observer. This was a period of economic boom and cultural flourishing, and the coin itself reflects the artistic ambition of the early 20th century. Yet, despite the high production numbers, the vast majority of these coins were thrust into the rough and tumble of daily commerce, handling that almost guaranteed wear to the delicate high points of the design, making a surviving example in pristine condition a remarkable anomaly. The artistic genius of the 1924 Buffalo nickel is undeniable, a collaboration of form and symbolism that has never been replicated. The obverse features the stoic profile of a Native American chief, a composite of several figures who had sat for designer James Earl Fraser. The reverse is dominated by a powerful portrait of an American bison, famously modeled on a captive animal named Black Diamond, standing on a small mound. The details are exquisite, from the careful rendering of the chief's hair to the texture of the bison's fur, but this high relief came at a cost. The very elements that make the coin a masterpiece, such as the date and the bison's horn, are the first areas to succumb to friction, making the condition of a surviving 1924 specimen the most critical factor in its value. To truly appreciate the rarity of a high-grade 1924 Buffalo nickel, one must look beyond the mintage figures and examine the survival estimates. Experts suggest that fewer than 8,000 examples survive in all grades, a startlingly low number for such a common date. However, the scarcity escalates exponentially when focusing on uncirculated specimens. In gem condition, defined as mint state 65 or higher, this issue is considered the rarest Philadelphia Mint Buffalo nickel from 1919 to 1938. With only a handful of specimens certified in MS 67 by the leading grading services, finding a truly flawless example becomes a quest akin to searching for a needle in a haystack. The strike quality of the 1924 is usually quite sharp, which is a relief for collectors who are accustomed to the soft strikes of other dates, but this only makes the absence of surface marks and luster breaks more glaring. The collector demand for this coin is driven by this stark contrast in availability, creating a market that rewards patience and a keen eye. The 1924S, minted in San Francisco, is another story entirely, a true key date that commands high premiums across the board. But even the Philadelphia issue, while modestly priced in circulated condition, transforms into a prized trophy when preserved in high mint state. For example, a well-worn specimen graded very fine may be affordable, while an about uncirculated example can see a substantial increase in value, and a certified MS-63 example can reach the four-figure mark. The competition for these top-tier pieces is fierce, as they are essential for completing a high-quality Buffalo nickel registry set, and their scarcity ensures that they rarely come to market. When discussing the current market value, it is crucial to distinguish between the grades. A circulated 1924 Buffalo nickel can be acquired for a modest sum, typically ranging from a few dollars to around $60, depending on the exact grade. The value truly begins to climb when a coin achieves a mint state designation. An MS-61 example can command several $100s, and as the grade climbs to MS-63, values can settle near the $1,000 range. At the pinnacle of the condition census, such as an MS-65 example, the value can surge to nearly $5,000, driven by the extreme difficulty of locating such a high-grade piece. These prices are a testament to the fact that, for this specific date, the difference in value between a coin that is simply old and a coin that is pristine is a matter of thousands of dollars. For those looking to secure a 1924 Buffalo nickel for their collection, the focus must be on the fundamentals of grading and surface preservation. The first thing to check is the overall strike and the integrity of the buffalo's horn, as a full horn designation adds to the coin's appeal and value. Original mint luster is paramount. A coin that appears flat or has been cleaned will not be viewed favorably by professional graders. Authentication by a recognized service like PCGS or NGC is non-negotiable for high-value purchases, as it guarantees the grade and protects against counterfeit or doctored coins. Whether you are searching through dealer inventories or online auctions, the 1924 Buffalo nickel is a powerful reminder that in numismatics, the true value of a coin is not just in its age, but in the story its surface tells about the journey it has survived. It is one of the most deceptive sights in all of American numismatics, a United States Buffalo nickel from 1936, designed by the legendary James E. Fraser, that appears to have been pulled from a muddy puddle after a century of abuse. We are talking about a coin that looks utterly destroyed, a piece of metal so scratched, so deeply gouged, and so obscured by filth that most people would dismiss it as worth exactly 5 cents, if even that. Yet hidden beneath that layer of grime and those brutal surface scars lies the potential for a shocking valuation that can leave even seasoned dealers breathless. This is a story about how a coin's historical significance and extreme rarity can transcend its physical appearance, transforming a visual disaster into a highly sought-after treasure for a specific class of collector. To understand how a coin in such a degraded state could command respect, we must first examine the historical landscape of 1936. This was the twilight of the Buffalo nickel series, which would be replaced just 2 years later by the Jefferson nickel. The United States was slowly emerging from the depths of the Great Depression, with the economy showing signs of recovery, yet the lingering effects of the economic downturn meant that coins were still circulating heavily. The Denver Mint and San Francisco Mint were operating at full capacity, and the Philadelphia Mint struck over 118 million nickels without a mint mark. The production of proof coins also resumed in 1936 for the first time since 1916, a sign of renewed collector interest. However, this was also a period where dies were pushed to their limits, leading to various striking anomalies that would later become the stuff of legend. The sheer volume of production, coupled with the hard copper-nickel alloy that made the design prone to wear, set the stage for a year rich in both common coins and hidden, valuable anomalies. The physical condition of the coin we are focusing on today is the primary driver of its mystery. The buffalo nickel design, beloved for its artistic merit, features extremely high relief points, specifically the bison's horn and the date on the obverse, which are the first to suffer in circulation. Add to this the heavy scratches, deep abrasions, and a layer of dark, granular dirt or corrosion, and the coin becomes a ghost of Fraser's original vision. You might see a 3.5 legs error, a spectacular die polishing mishap unique to the Denver Mint that year. The coin's damage is not just wear. It tells a story of survival against the elements, maybe being buried underground, lost in a flood, or simply surviving decades of harsh commerce. This damage becomes the coin's passport to a specific niche in the collecting world, where authenticity and historical character often outweigh the need for pristine surfaces. This brings us to the fascinating psychology of the collector. While many numismatists chase perfection, there is a powerful and growing faction of lowball or damage collectors who actively seek out the most visually horrific examples of key dates. A 1936 buffalo nickel with a known error like the 3.5 legs, even if it is dirty and scratched, becomes a monumental prize because of its inherent scarcity. The emotional pull of owning a coin that looks like it has survived a war, yet contains a known mint error, creates a unique form of storytelling appeal. If that coin can be authenticated and attributed to the specific overpolished die, it is no longer just a nickel. It is a historical artifact from the Denver Mint's production line, a tangible piece of the machinery of history that carries immense nostalgic weight. One of the most significant factors that can elevate a filthy, damaged coin into the realm of high value is the presence of a specific and verifiable mint error. For the 1936 D, the 3.5 legs variety is the golden ticket. This error occurred when mint workers overpolished a worn die, grinding away the upper portion of the bison's front right leg while leaving the hoof intact. It is a subtle but distinctly diagnostic flaw, and less than an estimated 300 of these specimens exist today, the vast majority of which are in circulated, often poor, condition. Even with deep scratches and heavy dirt, if a coin possesses this specific diagnostic feature, its value skyrockets. It is a well-documented variety with a specific FS number in the cherry-picker's guide, making it a high-priority target for advanced collectors who will accept severe surface issues to secure the rarity. The market behavior for these extreme conditional rarities often defies the logic of traditional price guides. While a normal, badly worn 1936 buffalo nickel might only fetch $1 or $2, a documented and authenticated error like the 3.5 legs changes the game entirely. These coins rarely appear in standard retail inventory. They are discovered at estate sales, found in old collections, and then submitted for certification. The demand is so intense that upon certification, these pieces often bypass standard dealer listings and head straight to specialized auctions. Here, the combination of the historical error, the coin's character, and the sheer competition among collectors can create a bidding war, driving the price far beyond what its technical grade would suggest. The emotional investment in owning a piece of mint history often overrides the physical degradation of the metal. When we push this scenario to its most extreme, we can envision a theoretical valuation that shocks the casual observer. Imagine an authentic 1936 D3.5 legs nickel, attributed by PCGS or NGC, that is heavily scratched and covered in dirt, yet presents a clear, undeniable diagnostic of the error. While a pristine example could reach sums in the mid-5 figures, a heavily damaged but authenticated example holds a unique value because of its undeniable authenticity and battle-worn character. In a specialized auction, with 2 determined bidders vying for the chance to complete their error set, this coin could surge past the 4-figure mark. This is not a case of the coin being worth its weight in silver. It is a case of a documented historical anomaly, preserved in a time capsule of grime, fetching a premium that rewards the coin's survival story. So the next time you find an old, ugly, and scratched-up coin in a dusty box or a forgotten jar, take a second glance. Do not let the dirt and damage obscure your vision. Look past the grime to the date, the mint mark, and the intricacies of the design. The most worthless-looking coins often hide the most thrilling secrets, and a 1936 Buffalo nickel, with its rich history and potential for errors, is one of the most notorious for doing just that. Remember that perfection is not the only metric of value in this hobby. Sometimes, a coin's greatest asset is the compelling, gritty story written across its worn and damaged surface. There is a strange and compelling magic in a coin that looks like it has been through a war and lost. The 1936 United States Buffalo nickel, a coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, is a perfect case study in this paradox, especially when it appears scratched, heavily toned, and seemingly beyond redemption. To the untrained eye, it is a piece of scrap metal, a victim of the harsh realities of circulation. Yet to the discerning specialist, that very damage is a gateway to understanding the coin's journey, and the possibility that hidden beneath that patina of neglect lies a rare variety that could transform its value. As we dissect this coin, we are not just looking at copper and nickel, we are looking at a historical survivor, and its scratches and tunning are the scars of its survival. To truly grasp the significance of the 1936 Philadelphia Buffalo nickel, we must first step back into the era of its creation, a time of profound transition in the United States. The country was emerging from the depths of the Great Depression, and the mints were operating at full capacity to fuel a recovering economy. The Philadelphia Mint, the original mint of the nation, struck an astonishing 118,997,000 of these 5-cent pieces, the highest mintage of the entire Buffalo nickel series, which ran from 1913 to 1938. Designed by the acclaimed sculptor James Earl Fraser, this coin was a symbol of the American West, featuring a stoic composite portrait of a Native American chief on the obverse and a powerful American bison, modeled on the famous captive black diamond, on the reverse. However, the high relief of this artistic masterpiece meant that the bison's horn and the date were susceptible to the first signs of wear, making a well-preserved specimen a rarity. The condition of the coin we are examining is its primary narrative. The deep scratches and heavy tunning are not just flaws, they are a testament to the coin's life in commerce, moving from pocket to pocket over the decades. This natural tunning, caused by environmental exposure to sulfur and other elements, can actually be a sign of originality, a mark of authenticity that many collectors respect. However, the presence of heavy scratches complicates the story, as it detracts from the surface preservation, a key metric in professional grading. Yet, for a specific and passionate segment of the numismatic community, these imperfections are precisely what make the coin interesting. They are not chasing perfection, they are chasing character and the potential for a hidden anomaly. The true value of a 1936 Buffalo nickel with a Philadelphia Mint mark lies in its potential to harbor one of the year's famous errors. The most significant of these is the 1936 double die obverse, a variety catalogued as FS101 and also FS102 in some references. This error occurs during the die creation process when the hub, which impresses the design onto the die, is misaligned or shifted between strikes, causing a noticeable doubling of the design elements. On the FS101, this is most apparent in the doubling of the date and the letters in the word Liberty. A scratched and toned example of this variety, graded VF by PCGS or NGC, can still command a significant premium, with values often reaching between $50 and $100. The collector demand for these problem coins is a fascinating study in psychology and specialization. Collectors who pursue die varieties are often willing to overlook surface issues because the rarity of the error itself is the primary driver of value. The 1936 double die is one of the boldest varieties in the entire Buffalo nickel series, and competition for certified examples is fierce. This competition is amplified by the PCGS set registry, where collectors build competitive sets of coins, and a top-grade example of this variety becomes a cornerstone of a high-end collection. For instance, the single finest certified example of the 1936 FS101 double die in MS66, a coin in pristine condition, sold for a remarkable sum, underscoring the extreme desirability of this era when it is preserved in high grade. While the regular business strike of 1936 is common, the Philadelphia Mint also produced a small number of proof coins, a fact that adds another layer to the story of the year. The United States Mint revived the production of proof coins in 1936 for the first time since 1916, striking a total of 4,420 proofs, which were initially made with a satin finish and later with a brilliant finish. Even a scratched and toned proof example from this year holds an intrinsic value far beyond a normal business strike because of its low mintage and historical significance. The survival estimate for all grades of the 1936 proof is about 1,950 coins, making it a genuinely scarce issue. This scarcity ensures that even a damaged proof piece is a prize for collectors. In contrast, the value of a standard, heavily circulated 1936 Philadelphia Buffalo nickel without any notable errors is modest, typically ranging from $1 to $5. However, when we move into the realm of the variety, the value proposition changes dramatically. A well-worn but authentic FS101 double die in fine condition can easily command $50 or more. The exact price is heavily dependent on the coin's eye appeal, the severity of the scratches, and the consistency of the tunning. A coin with a strong, unmistakable doubling, even with surface damage, will always be more desirable than a weakly struck, damaged example without a variety. Ultimately, the 1936 Philadelphia Buffalo nickel serves as a powerful reminder that in the world of serious coin collecting, value is not always about perfection. The scratches and tunning on this coin are not just defects. They are part of its story, a story of survival and historical journey. What appears to be a ruined coin to the casual observer could, under the right circumstances and with the right verification, be a hidden treasure. When you examine a battered old nickel, look past the grime and search for the subtle doubling of the letters and numbers, because the line between a few dollars and a significant collectible is often just a single, overlooked detail hidden beneath the surface of a survivor.